Hello, wrestling fans. Brian Thompson here with you on another awesome edition of the School of Morton Podcast. And wait a minute. Do you not know how long I have waited for this opportunity to introduce my co-host, my partner in crime on the School of Morton Podcast, one of the all-time greats, a legend in the world of professional wrestling, one half of the legendary now WWE Hall of Fame bound Rock and Roll Express, my good friend, Mr. Ricky Morton. Ricky, how are you, my Hall of Fame friend?
All right, Brian. Thank you very much. It's been a long time. You know, we hadn't been on air for a while, man, but we've been waiting for this opportunity for we could announce and tell all the people and be able to talk about it and have a good time. Not only that, about the School of Morton upcoming things that we got planned and a very special guest that we got on today. I'm just looking forward to all of it, Brian.
Man, I tell you what, we have a very special guest coming on the air today. Looking forward to that. We won't spoil the surprise. We'll get to him in just a few minutes. But man, Ricky, what a couple of weeks it's been. The big announcement here recently on WWE programming that you and Robert will take your rightful place alongside some of the all-time greats to ever grace a pro wrestling ring, the business itself, the WWE Hall of Fame, and certainly proud of you. It was I know you had a little get-together with some friends in that part of the country to watch the formal announcement, and it even got broadcast on Facebook Live, so some of us could watch you watching the announcement. But one of those moments where you kind of got a little goose, or at least even me as a wrestling fan and a friend of yours for the last several years, and just got goosebumps watching it. So just kind of take us back in time. What were the emotions like for you watching at the party you were a part of and seeing that big announcement finally where you guys belong in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Well, Brian, first of all, you know, they called us earlier to tell us about it, and we had to keep it a secret, and I just wanted to go outside and scream. I just wanted everybody to know. But, you know, man, when I was, like you said, we had a little get-together, and we were inside the 50/50 Club up in Johnson City, and this came on, and actually, and even when it came out that day, and it came out that day, and people were calling me and texting me, man. I mean, you got to understand the goosebumps and everything. But the most important thing is no matter what anybody does in their life, no matter what it is, but to get the opportunity, and I can imagine this when we do walk out on stage at the Hall of Fame, it's just to feel the way that Robert and I feel. I mean, it's one of the greatest feelings. How would Hawk say it? What a rush! But man, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's really great, and it makes you stop to think about a lot of different things. Brian, truly, it really does. It makes you think about all the little things. One of our guests is coming on later. How much of an impact he had in our career. You think about, and I even say this right here. People forgot about things like this because we didn't have social media. You didn't have Facebooks. You didn't have all this stuff right here. What we had was Bill Apter, writing the wrestling magazines. That's how the people kept up with us. It's little things like that right there that made you come back and stop to think about us getting to where we're at, and not only that, talking about the talent. You get a lot of people Rock and Roll Express. You deserve being there, but do you realize the great talent that Robert and I wrestled the whole time on our way on that journey? Gosh, man, the greatest names in this business, the greatest talent, sports entertainers that you could ever imagine. I still, I'm still in the mode of where I'm saying, wrestlers or professional wrestlers, but you know what it boils down to, it is. I'm not here to try to insult anybody's intelligence. It's about that. It's about the sports entertainment. It's about what we done. But at our time and our era, It was the best that could ever be.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's certainly exciting. And Ricky, you mentioned the social media, the technology that is
Yes.
available today. And one thing I like about that technology is the fact that now, by you guys going in the Hall of Fame, it obviously puts a spotlight on you, very much deserved. And a lot of these young fans will look into those archives on the WWE Network, and they will watch Rock and Roll Express matches to kind of see what the buzz was all about. And even to this day, the emotion that it's one the fans, when they still see you, it still means something. And the coolest thing is being on events with you through the years, myself running up and down the roads with Bobby Eaton, and being at different conventions and seeing the look on these folks' faces when they finally, after all these years of watching you guys on television, finally got to meet you, walk up, shake your hand, have a conversation, get an autograph, buy a picture, whatever the case may be, and what an emotional moment it was. And even better than that, in my opinion, was seeing a father introducing a son to you and Robert and Bobby and guys like that, and talking about what you meant to their lives growing up, and it was just like them sharing that and passing it down. And I think that, combined with the fact that now fans can watch your old matches from the glory days, and you're still out there having great matches, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You see Ricky Morton on a flyer, buy a ticket, call somebody. Ricky say, get on the phone and call somebody, buy that ticket and watch it now. But I think it's just awesome that in some ways a whole new generation is going to be enlightened as to what the Rock and Roll Express meant to this industry.
Well, I thank you for that, Brian. Excuse me, I coughing here for some reason, but we, just after this weekend, I was on the big time wrestling cards in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Spartanburg, and I had a great opportunity, because I give credit where credit is due. Matt and Jeff Hardy, great to me, the great tag team, and I had the pleasure to work with Matt in the last deletion match, and we had one of these crazy matches, falls count anywhere, no time limit, no disqualification, and we did all this. But when the second night in Spartanburg, when it was over, and this is coming from my heart, and I don't understand, people out there, you have to be called at that moment. Me and Matt actually just tore the place down. And we really did. And for him and what a speech after the match. He came out of the broken Matt Hardy gimmick. He came out of it. He grabbed a microphone and talked and put on there this, what an influence, not only to them, but to every tag team there is. And he said, no matter where you're at, and you're in a dressing room and they're talking, especially in a tag matches, something about the Rock and Roll Express would come up. Man, what a great compliment that is. And then to tell the people, and I know, I'm 60 years old, Brian, and I'm not out here trying to be somebody that I'm not, and I'm not trying to impress anybody either. But this is what I do for a living. It's all that I know, and when I get in there, people pay to see me. And Robert, and this is Robert too, along with us. We try to give them their money's worth, everything that it is. But this weekend, to do that and have Matt, and I see where Matt posted something on Facebook about, where I'm 60 years old, and said, "Gosh, he wrestles like he's 30 years old." But it's because I put everything into it, and I did, man. We did some crazy stuff the other night that I forgot about doing it, and it all worked out, man. But I gotta say, it's I spent a lot of time with this weekend too with Billy Gunn, and to understand, and how Billy is, and the respect that he has for you, and not only that, just a lot of the boys, Carlito, and gosh, they come up to you and they talk to you, and every one of them congratulating you, and man, it to me, I'm just flabbergasted. You hear what I'm saying? I'm sitting here talking to you about the Hall of Fame, and I got chill bumps on my arm, You know, I feel like I got ostrich skin on me right now. But it's one of the greatest things that man. Robert and I have done a lot, man. We in our business. I mean, gosh, winning the world tag team titles and everything. But I mean, and now we're getting put into the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, wow, what a road we took and what a trip we had together, Robert and I, man. Some of the greatest times you could ever imagine, and sometimes people ask me a lot, man, tell me a good story, you and Robert on the road. I said, bro, if I tell you, you won't even believe me. So it's just, but that only happened one night. We've been together, gosh, I think wrestling partners. And I have to make that I have to get on to Robert about that a lot too. We are sports entertainment business partners, wrestling partners. Robert, we're not just partners. Okay? I don't mean that bad, everybody. I'm just telling you the truth. But man, what a ride we had, dude.
And we not saying anything wrong with that, but not this.
No, I know. I'm not saying that wrong. But dude, I mean, I don't. But I got to make that clear. But man, like I was saying, what a ride.
I don't think anybody doubted that, Ricky.
Oh, I know. But man,
well, I can't tell you what. Why don't we take a little quick time out, a little break here, and give the fans a chance to listen to some of the sponsors that help make this thing happen here, the School of Morton Podcast. And when we come back, we're going to have a very special guest. I'm sure somebody that's very excited about the fact that you guys are going to the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about what he had to do with your career in the early days when we come back here on the School of Morton Podcast. Brian Thompson back here on the School of Morton Podcast with my Hall of Fame co-partner here and co-podcast partner. Let's make that clear. One half of the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton. Ricky, we have an awesome guest for this edition of the podcast, the man that you go way back with. And I guess, do you want me to formally introduce him, or would you like to introduce him to the world?
Well, I take this part over right here. A lot of guys asked me about being in the, when you first started the Rock and Roll Express and you go through there. But you see, it took other people to make us what we are. Not only is he one of the greatest workers in our business, but one of the greatest minds ever. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to bring it to you and introduce to you the one and only, Bill Superstar Dundee. Hello, Bill.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. How you doing, Bill?
I'm just going to let you talk. If you're going to talk like that all night, just keep saying them nice words, brother.
Okay, he sure will. Brian Thompson.
Bill, Superstar Dundee, certainly good to have you on the School of Morton Podcast. How's life treating you, sir? Treating me real good. It's the same for the last 73 years. It ain't changed much, but we're still here. That's the main thing. That's it. I tell you what, Bill Dundee still throws a pretty nasty big fist. I tasted one about a year ago. I'm still recovering, so. Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah. You laid it in too, no doubt about it. So. Well, that's I wouldn't expect anything less. There you go. I didn't disappoint you, did I? You got what you expect. I think everybody came to see the Superstar. You got the loudest ovation of the night, but I didn't expect anything different. So, all right. Well, I appreciate that fine words too. So,
well, Bill and Brian, I had the opportunity of starting my career off in Memphis, and I had the opportunity not just one night but every night to go out and watch those people get behind Bill Dundee. Man, I'm telling you, guys. You know what, Bill? People don't understand now. In those days, when I first broke in and we're around that Memphis area, you know, you didn't sell a building out once a year. You didn't sell it out once a month. You sold it out every week. Some of the greatest battles around there. But I got you on here today, Bill, and we're going to go through some of that here in a minute. But I just wanted to tell you, you know, through our career, you know, people tell you, well, Jerry Lawler, he did this. I said, yeah, but I had a guy that believed in me. He, matter of fact, packed up my old LTD and put some stuff in the back of a U-Haul, and I headed to Louisiana to work for Bill Watts. And he told us, you know, and all our life we always heard that we would never make it in a business. And Bill Dundee, he convinced Bill Watts about the smaller guys in our business and what we could do. And I got to thank Bill Watts, too, for trusting Bill. And, Bill, you put us in there. The territory rode on our shoulders, but we rode on your shoulders because one of the greatest experiences, one of the greatest learning times that I ever had in my life. And that's what took Robert and I on, by just listening to you and learning about you, Bill.
Well, here's the thing is I don't think the kids of the indie circuit understands today. Somebody has to teach this to you, but mostly or foremost until you start drawing money, they have to like you. If they don't get along with you, they don't bother, you know, teaching you what. However, somebody taught Bill Dundee. Jerry Jarrett was very nice for Bill Dundee when he came here. Bobby Shane in Australia. Jim Barnett was the booker. He, you know, so somebody has to take a liking to you and say, hey, kid, you're doing this all wrong. Now, I don't know how it would fit in with today's flipping and flopping. I don't know. But when we said it was real, I believed it. I still believe it. That's Brian Thompson. I punched him in the chin. See if I don't believe it. So I'm still hurting. Yeah, I can't shoot right even to this day, 9 or 10 months later. I hear you. I ain't playing.
Hey, Brian, you're not the only one that's been on the end of that stick. You know, you can ask Bill. Bill stomped me in the head one time, right in the middle of the heat, and I jumped up and asked him, "Are you mad at me?"
I was just about to bring that story up when doing the thing. I thought, damn, he leaned on his back and jumped right to his feet and balled his fists up and said, "You son of a..." I said, "Brother, are you mad at me?"
Sure did, man. But now tell us, Bill. You know, because I'm interested. I know a lot of fans are out there. Yeah, they don't get the opportunity. I mean, gosh, man. You know, nowadays it's. You know, our wrestling business is all different, you know, but it's still cool. I like it the way it is. We all have to go with the changes. But to understand, you know, like Brian, you was telling me earlier about some of the fathers bring their kids to see me and look them up on social media, which is a good thing. But guys, you're out there, go on social media, and you look up Bill Superstar Dundee to see some of the matches that he had in Memphis. Not only with other people, but against Jerry Lawler. Just classic stuff, man, that went on. But, Bill, what year did you come into the States? So tell us all about that, Bill.
Well, 1975, but I started wrestling in Australia for a guy named Hal Morgan in the clubs up in Sydney. And around 1962 to 64, and Jim Barnett brought World Championship Wrestling to Australia. And he used the Australian guys as the job boys, as the jabronis. We got paid $35 a match, which was a lot of money back in the mid-60s. And then, you know, you knew what your job was. You go out there and make them look like King Kong, and that's what we did. And George Barnes and I was very good at it. So for about 8 or 9 years, we did that. And a gentleman by the name of Bobby Shane came to Australia as the booker for Barnett. And he got hold of Ikon Barnes and he said, "You two would get over good in Tennessee." And I said, "Well, hell, how did we get there?" So he called Jerry, and Jared booked us. It took a year to get the paperwork. But once we got the paperwork, we showed up working for Nick Wills, and you worked for Nick and George. You know how that was.
Oh, yes.
Nick would tell you one thing and then give you another. So that was what got us here. Then George got a little homesick about 3 months into the gig, and he went home. I stayed. Miss Christine Jarrett, from the day she saw me, she told Jerry, she said, that guy needs to be one of the good guys, not on the heel side. I said, no, I'm a heel. I don't want to be a good guy. So anyway, when George left, they switched me babyface, and the rest is history, as to say. Here I am 40 years later.
Oh, well, Bill, I know it. But and a lot of people didn't understand because we worked small territories, and you just mentioned the part about Nick Goodless. I was one of the great things I thought that every guy in this wrestling business, to make them respect our business or make them do anything, they needed to work for Nick Goodless.
Right.
They for Nick and George, and I mean, you could tell things that they don't even understand. The people they won't believe you if you tell them about these two guys. Go ahead.
No, the boys wouldn't believe you. Man, it was just like Nick would tell you, hey, boy, a hell of a house tonight. You made $175. Now, in the mid-'70s, that was a lot of money for one night. You get your check, you'd get 85.
Yes.
So Nick would blow it up, and then you would get half of that.
Yes. But, he used to tell me, I had some $20 payoffs for him, and he'd tell me, son, it ain't what you make, it's what you save.
Right.
How can I save anything? It cost me $30 to get here. But
yeah, hard to say. But anyway, that was a learning experience, and it was good. And Fargo was around there, and Don and Al Green was around there. Jerry Jarrett and Toji Yamamoto was a hell of a team. So, that I didn't think that wrestling-wise, because in Australia they did a whole lot more wrestling. And holds and counter holds, Jarrett and Tojo didn't, and Lawler didn't. They just kicked and punched, and I thought, well, I can learn to do that. So I did, and that was the difference between the Australian wrestling and the British wrestling, like the Tony Charleses and the Billy Robinsons. They like to put holds on and wrestle. Tennessee just liked the good old fight, and I enjoyed the fighting style.
Yeah, yes, but you know what, Bill? I learned a lot. They like the good old fighting too, but they like the entertainment part.
Right.
You was, it's still as today. I still do a lot of Bill Dundee stuff. It was great then. It was a whole different era at the time, and like people don't even. It's hard to believe, that Memphis, when you're out there, was one of the greatest territories there were. I mean, a matter of fact, it's probably the best because they outdrew everybody everywhere they went. I mean, because if Memphis didn't sell out on Monday night, you had a different main event the next week.
Right. And, I'm just glad Jerry Jarrett and Christine Jarrett, and don't get me wrong, they may like you, but if you don't draw money, the light goes out the window. It's all about drawing money.
Oh, yes, it was, Bill. It's, you've talked about this before, too. We didn't, Robert and I were just a little bit before the contracts and people making that, and we depended on how many butts you put in the seats. But not only did the promotion depend on it, the boys depended on it. Like you was talking earlier, the boys do their jobs because they had to feed our families. If you're going to get somebody over, everybody got them over. That's just the way it did. You didn't talk, you didn't second guess. And I said, go ahead, Bill.
I know how WCW did it. I don't know how Vince does it. I tried to watch your show, and I thought some of them guys are working on top, but they wouldn't have been back in the good old days. And I know it's all changed. And I tried to wrap my head around what they do. They don't wrestle today, and I'm not saying some of them are not good athletes the way they flip-flop around, but nothing to do with wrestling. Nothing.
Yeah, nowadays it's it's called sports entertainment. It's nothing to do about. It's everything's changed. As the time moves on, it's changed. And Bill, and you too. I know that you're 72 years old and you still work. Robert, I'm 60.
Yeah, he still works. 73. We add that other year, 73.
Okay. Somebody asked me one time.
Hey,
Wait, go ahead.
Yeah. So 73, and he's still whooping. I'm 36, and he still laid me out last year. So who's still the man? Bill Dundee still is. I got to admit it.
Well, that's something easy.
I've had a lot of practice of throwing that right hand and saying, "Oops, sorry."
Yeah, but you know what, Bill? You know, in our big businesses, and now I'm here. You know, me. I stick a stick in a pot and stir it up in a heartbeat. But you know, man, on some of these independent shows that I work on, sometimes, Bill, I'm just. But don't get me wrong, it's what I do for a living. But then you have these independent promoters. I run across a bunch of them a lot of time that will go into a town, get sponsorships, and tell they're going to bring this guy in. They don't even bring them in. You know, it makes us look bad in our business.
Yeah.
You know, because this is no joke. This is no game. This is what we do for a living. It's not for us to be main event on Saturday, one Saturday night out of the year when I run my own show. But, you know, it really gets to me a lot of times when you see some of these guys, they go out there and just really rape our business that we worked hard for, that, you know, that we built up, and they just trying to be something else. And I'm telling you, man, sometimes I go to the shows and I hide in the back. You know, I'm embarrassed to even come out to my match. And then when you come out, they always got you on 32. You know, they got, you know, you're on the 32nd match. You got 30 matches, and you got to sit there and wait through all this stuff. And
well,
go ahead.
They don't like my interview when that happens. When I say, "Where am I on the board?" So, well, you're on last. I said, "You think I'm following all this bullshit to be one of them? Not one of them to rate that? And you think I'm going to rate in this dressing room, go to the ring last, and follow all that?" Yes, no, sir. I'll just go home now. So usually they change it to that second on the card.
I like. Now, see, that's the Bill Dundee I know. This is the Bill Dundee I want to hear. Now, the whole world don't know Bill Dundee. I do. I love Bill Dundee, and that's the reason I love Bill Dundee, because he says what's on his mind, and
Right.
and that's great. I mean, Bill, where you living at now? Memphis, Tennessee?
Yeah, Germantown.
In Germantown. There's a lot of independent work around that area.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, either they do Woodville, they do South Haven, they do Corinth, Mississippi. Yeah, the whole Mississippi territory used to run off Memphis TV. Yeah.
Oh yes. Then I sure do.
You don't get rich. You know how it is. It's the same all over the place. I just don't know. I don't know what it
to
takes
get rich.
To draw money.
I know Bill Dundee too. Bill Dundee's got money that's moated. Okay, you don't got to bull crap me. But what I want you to do, Bill, explain to fans out here, you know, because you know our business was different. When you taught Bill Watts into bringing Robert and I into Louisiana, I mean, tell the folks out here, I mean, what all did you have to go through? Because you told me bits and pieces along the way, you know, but I know you hadn't told me the whole true story. Go through it all, you know, because, you know, Robert and I were playing second fiddle in Memphis for the Fabulous Ones. You knew that, and then you know, Bill brought you in as his booker. Then the next thing I know I want you to understand this too. You know that we're just supposed to go there for a certain amount of time, and
right.
But we went back to Memphis and gave our notice and came right back. But go ahead.
Here's the other thing. When I remember the first said, somebody has to like you. Well, I liked you. I knew what y'all could do, and I knew kind of what I could do. The puppet, and I don't mean you're all puppets, but just using this scenario, the puppet only dances as good as the guy working the strings. And if you don't have a guy that cares about you in the back and tell you what to do and blah, 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 and try to help you, you ain't going nowhere, and I don't give a damn who you are. Okay. Somebody had to like The Rock when he went to New York, but he was in here, you know how he was. So back to the story, we did a deal. Duggan, remember, there was Jim Duggan, Hacksaw Butch Reed. There was about 4 big guys, and Bill Watts was. So he says to me one day, TV, "You ain't going to fill this place up with midgets, are you?" I said, what are you talking about, midgets? He said, "Well, them boys ain't too big." I said, "Bill, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a little competition here. Me and Dutch and them was working. So anyway, I said, you book them 4 monsters you got, and I'll book the 4 smaller guys, and at the end of the month, we'll see what grosses what the towns we go to." So we did a little deal like that. The little guys have to do the big guys. So that was, when you're talking money, everybody listens. So he said, wow.
Great.
And then his wife, Anna Watts, was a big favorite of y'all. You remember Anna? She said, Bill, they're cute. Now listen to the girls when they come to when we used to go to Tulsa. We used to go to Oak City on that Sunday afternoon. She said, Bill, listen to the young ladies. Look at the young ladies on the front row going crazy. You know, I mean, if I was gay, I wouldn't want to kiss Jim Duggan. I love little Jim, but you know what I mean? It was just a big group. You know, Anna and me bitching at Bill and not bitching, but telling him, hey, listen, look at the young ladies on the front. Now, remember TV when we went, the first one we played your videos, there was nobody coming to the boys club in Shreveport when we was making TV. The first week you guys showed up, they were lined up around the building.
Yes.
And stayed that way for the next 2 years.
Yes, I know it was, Bill. And, you know, because, you know, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, they go back and they only, they tell me all the time, man, I remember when you first started, you know, that's when they first seen our first match, when we beat the Russians for the tag team. I says, no, I wrestled 10 years before that.
Right. Yeah.
But they don't understand the small territory things that when you took us in there, and understand me and Robert, we had but not only us, you had the greatest talent in the world, Bill. You brought in there with you. You know, the Midnight Express,
right?
And you had some great talent, but like you said earlier, you had to do it right. You can have the greatest talent in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing with it, you're not going to do nothing. You come up with some great ideas. I know that you took. To me, I think that you took a part of. You took a part of Memphis with you because Memphis was the hottest territory in the world for years, and you took Memphis with you and changed the world.
And that's what, and it's no different back then as it is today. It's monkey see, monkey do. The young kids see Vince McMahon's show, so they try to do the bullshit he does on the indie circuit, and it doesn't really work. Nobody cares. They don't have the TV to get over. You knew how Memphis worked. I knew how Memphis worked. So if we got, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. We were all on the same page and went out and did it like a business.
Yes, it was. But you know what's the funny part about that is, Bill? It still works today.
Right.
It still works today. And
it has to be run from the back, Rick. You know that. If you all walk to the ring and you're on different pages, it ain't working. And I've watched matches, tag matches, and they're not even in the same friggin'. They're in the same ring doing the same thing, but it ain't the same match. One guy does something, the other guy does. It's not a tag match. You're supposed to work. Two guys work as one.
Yeah,
Robert was one of the best at that.
Well, I mean, but you taught us a lot about that, Bill. You know, you taught me. If you remember, we made a lot of trips together, and I don't know if you remembered that they call it picking your brain now. To me, I just sit over to ask a lot of questions until you got tired of talking to me and told me to shut up.
Well, but that's how I learned. That's how we all did it. I mean,
yes.
Jerry Jarrett, when Barnes went home, he just come to me and said, "Man, we let's switch your baby face." I said, oh, man, I don't want to do that. But anyway, we did it and said the rest is history. But I went up and down the road with him getting schooled on what we do and we don't do. Jarrett wasn't the greatest wrestler in the world, but as far as getting sympathy and selling and making a babyface interview, there was nobody better than him.
Yes.
At that time.
Well, it was different. And but and I say this to a lot of people a lot of times. I mean, they ask me, it wasn't the part about, because guys, I was raised in a wrestling family.
Right.
It was the ones that taught me the ones, and Bill Superstar Dundee, 80% of my career, 80% of the things I learned, and this is the true fact, Bill, I learned that from you. And, but I got preached to it a lot. I was one of the young guys growing up in the business. These guys don't know. They tell you a lot. I says, you know how many times Bill Dundee jerked me into a room? And just, look here, and my name wasn't Ricky Morton either. Okay, but I
Yeah.
learned, and this is what we got to do. This is how we got to draw money. This is what you got to
Yeah.
do to draw this money. All right, and a lot of guys just don't even understand that. You said something earlier too. I go to these independent shows, Bill, and the first four matches they're all the same. They do the
Right.
same high spots. They do the same thing. And and I will say this: I had one of the boys one time. He was wanting to be in our business. And we were on a show, and I told him they had the TNA guys there. They had Ring of Honor guys there. They had a bunch of them, and everybody was dressing down the hallway. And I asked him. I said, "Look down through there." I said, "What do you see?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "What do you see?" I said, "Look at yourself. Every one of you are dressed exactly alike. You
Yeah.
got the same stuff on. None of you's got a gimmick. Nobody wants to listen. You're scared to even take an arm drag with somebody because you think it might make you look bad. I mean, none of y'all. I mean, who even broke y'all into business? Who even smarted you up to the business? A lot of people don't know because, even here, Bill, I run a wrestling school here. And a lot of it's a lot of things you can't teach people. A lot of it, that's why I let them go in here. You have to learn on your own, but you got to learn how to put it together. That's what I'm here for, to teach them all that stuff.
Right.
But go ahead.
Here's the other thing that I believe. All the ones that are great at this business, it's in them. Somebody has to bring it out. If it's not in you, I don't give a damn how much they like you. Look at George Lewis, bless his heart. And we're just using George, but it's true. He was 6'6", big dangly bastard, and he just didn't have it. He just was the boss's son, and you had to put him over. But he would never have got it.
Oh no, he wasn't, Bill. He sure wasn't.
Right.
But
So
my main thing, and I do tell and before you came on the air, Bill, Brian, and I were talking. And it's people like you that the bookers that got us there. But see, we didn't have, and which thank God now we do have social media to go on. But I was telling him it's the people that you got to think. It's like Bill Apter, for instance, that wrote all the wrestling magazines. That was our Facebook. That was our stuff
right.
in those
Right.
days, and outside of our territory. Now our TV and everything in our territories. I mean, I can't even explain to people about. I can't even explain to people how it was Saturday mornings in Memphis TV. How it was when we come into Memphis on Friday nights, or how it was when you got to your towns. That, gosh, I mean, you was talking about the lined up, but here I am, 20 years old, and I'm working Memphis territory, and and this is every night packed.
Yeah, if they don't understand how it was. I mean, and then when we went to Louisiana, it was dead on its backside when we got there, and 2 years later, it was, 3 months later, it was on fire. But the next 2 years, it was, and then we all left and went to Charlotte and did whatever.
Oh, yes.
It went out of business, but that wasn't our fault. We were already gone.
Yes, sir, it sure did. And we took all that knowledge to the Carolinas with us, too. Yeah. And
that is the thing. And Big Dusty, people talk Big Dusty, but I liked him. I got along good with him. I knew in Australia. I did a job for him about 1960. I don't know, 8 or 9 in Australia when Barnett brought him and Dick Murdoch over there as the Texas Outlaws. And were them boys different? I said, oh my God, they'll kill you. But they got over like hell in Australia. So, and then when Dusty took the book, some guy said, well, he does this, he did that. Well, we all did this and we all did that. Nobody's perfect. But I liked the big boy, and it was always good to me.
oh yes, cool. Yeah, oh yeah, me too. I mean,
I like y'all. I mean, you like you guys. I mean, it's just, and like I said, there has to be liking it. If nobody likes you, you're not going nowhere. I don't give a, I just don't care who you are.
Yeah, they gotta like you, but you gotta know what you're doing, and the
Right.
main important thing is, and I ask the guys a lot, and I'm
Remember
here.
when we put the Rock and Roll Express together, and Lawler was in the room and talking and doing the thing, and then Robert says, I'm not tying them bandanas around my legs. People will laugh at me. Remember that? He didn't want to do it.
Yes, I know. And then The next,
Well, you better time around your legs, because if you don't, somebody else will, and he'll be walking out with Ricky.
yeah, I said, buddy, but it happened. I mean, what was amazing is you got two country boys, and you could hear me talking on the line here. I'm countrying a bowl of pinto beans. But we took the Rock and Roll Express gimmick and got it over. But
Right.
but we had a lot. We had the greatest people in the world to learn from, and
That's
that's what.
I mean, it takes four guys in that ring in a tag, but five guys. It takes your two opponents, takes the referee, and y'all. It takes the whole five in that ring to make it work.
And that's true. I mean, this, buddy, and Bill, I get into this all the time. I tell these guys all the time, if you just get the referee, if you respect the referee, I mean, do you see any football players knocking the referee down on a football game? Do you hear? I mean, you got to give the referee respect, and your match will be 10 times better. I'm talking about other people because their match is 20 times horrible. Okay.
Right. And I tell them too. I said, even if you don't like the guy personally, it's not the guy you're putting over. It's that black and white shirt. That is a referee shirt. And when he has it on, he's in charge, and you better listen to him.
Oh yeah.
And then I told him, you know, I've said this to you a bunch of times. If they disqualify you, if the guy does something wrong, do whatever, blame the referee, DQ the match, and I'll pick up with the boys when they get back. But I don't think that happens today. Nobody tells them that today. The referee's just made look like an idiot in most of them indie shows.
Yes, I got you.
No, you're right.
Brian,
You're right, Bill. I think kind of just to chime in on the same sort of discussion, I think a lot of announcers are even treated like second rate or whatever. If Bill, you did an angle where you slapped Lance Russell and it actually meant something, because nobody at that point in time had ever put their hands on Lance. Right. Even the heels treated Lance with respect. Yeah, I don't agree with your opinion, but I agree. I understand that you're Lance was somewhat of an authority figure on being a good broadcaster. Even the heels gave him the respect of being a good broadcaster. So when you cross that line, it meant something. Now they push them all around like they're idiots with the microphone, and so you push a guy around and then expect him in commentary to push you over. When the guy in commentary pushes you over, why should the people believe it? Because you've just been telling them he's an idiot for the last 20 minutes or whatever. So right, they don't quite understand how to get heat and cheap heat. If somebody swears at you and you swear back at them, you'll get a reaction, but it ain't real heat. It's just a reaction to cussing one another. Yeah, exactly. Anybody can do that and be successful with it. Well, Bill, you saw a lot, of course, as you mentioned, in Ricky. How did you feel, I guess, years later when you guys were able to bring the rock and roll back to Memphis? I believe it would be sometime in the 90s, and had them work an angle with Jamie and Wolfie. I'm sure that was kind of a neat experience, and there was still a little bit of life in the Memphis territory even back then. Right. Well, Jamie and Wolfie was Ricky and Robert 20 years before. So, I mean, they were saying Ricky and Robert were his groupies, Jamie and Wolfie, because Jamie and Wolfie were yahoos. And one was my son and the other was my son. But my God, they were just. But it gone over and we did what we did. And Jamie could have went a lot further than Jamie did. Just he had the talent. I thought he had the talent. I mean, he understood this business, but he didn't understand life. And then Wolfie got off on the wrong track for a while, but he's back and he's settled down. To be honest with you, I don't know where the hell Jamie is, but that's another story.
Okay, I got you, Bill. You know what, Bill Dundee, I need to bring you up here to the School of Morton one Sunday, and
yeah, we'll have a little fun if nothing else. We will entertain one another if nobody else thinks it's funny.
Well, and they don't know.
Let's book that match. I mean, I'd still pay money to see that match to this day, Ricky Morton and Bill Dundee. Right there.
Look here, but I have to get my health insurance knocked back up. I know, I'm just kidding you, but but it's great because Bill, we're on here, we're talking about wrestling. I don't get into other things, but I have guys to ask me stories. Tell me a good story about you and Robert, or tell me a good story about you and Bill Dundee, or tell me that. I said, guys, if I tell you, you wouldn't even believe me. You think I'm lying to you. So
the time we were doing it, we never really thought we was making stories or anything. That was just the way of life.
Hey,
Remember when the guy
Go
I
ahead.
don't know if I can tell this or not, but anyway, we stopped in Fairday, Louisiana, and the boys went out to get a soda or do whatever, and I was sitting in the car. So this dude walks up there and knocks on the window, and he has a little packet with him. I said, what the hell is that? So he puts it in the window, and he says, it's a dime bag. I said, dime bag? I said, well, if it's bad, it can't be that bad for a dime. So I didn't know what the hell it was. So Ricky, Robert, and I think Buddy Landell was with us. They get back in the car, and the guys yelling at us. I said, take off. So they take off in the car. So Rick and one of them says, why is he mad at us? I said, well, I don't know, but he gave me this and with a little thing of pot, and I had it to one, and he said, well, what did you pay him for it? I said he wanted a dime, so I gave him a dime. Is that not a good deal? He could have been good.
I was trying to tell Bill that was $10 worth.
Right, yeah.
Well, he wanted a dime for it.
He wanted a dime. I gave him a dime. And we took off.
Oh yes.
The good
Crazy.
old days, as they
But
say, right?
But you understand me, Bill, that was just one day.
Right, yeah.
And
Still
it-
had the trip home to make.
And it wasn't nothing that, like you just made a great point, it wasn't nothing that we planned. Everything just happened. It just happened.
Right.
We was all young. And I want to tell you, Bill, and I'm serious about this. I had a great run in this business. But I think some of my memorable times and some of my greatest times was in Memphis and in Louisiana. Memphis is, it's not enough you could even say about that place. It was a great learning experience, but it was one of the great, you had people lined up wanting to come in that territory to work with you or work with Lawler, lined up. I mean, I was real lucky to be a part to stay there for a long time and to learn. But when I did learn it, and I want to thank you, Bill Dundee, from the bottom of my heart, for putting your faith in Robert and I, taking us far away, but then it never stopped after that. Greatest times of my life, greatest times that anybody could ever ask, and it's a great, I get a lot of questions asked me about me going to the WWE Hall of Fame. But you see, it was a lot of people that helped me along that road. And Bill Superstar Dundee, you were one of the top ones that did.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, brother, and you both need to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if Donald Trump can make it to the friggin' Hall of Fame, I'm telling you, I just don't know, and I didn't mean to make that sound bad, but you guys should be in it, deserves to be in it. You drew a lot of money, you knew what the business was about, and you were wrestlers, and you could wrestle. And Robert Gibson's a whole lot tougher than a lot of people think that Robert is. Not that you are, you know what I mean?
I tell them some stories every now and then. They didn't know that, right.
Nothing more can hurt you just looking at you.
Oh. But Bill, like you said, we were smaller guys in the business, and sometimes the big guys didn't really want to work with us. But we changed our mind a couple of ways. It wasn't me. We got along with them. All I had to do is just tell Bill Dundee. No, it's great.
And they knew it. And when we went to Louisiana, they knew that you was the teacher's pet. With me and you guys. I mean, I didn't bring you in to do jobs. I brought you in there to get you over.
Yes, and they did. And once we started drawing money, buddy, that was in every territory. I had the same deal.
Right.
I had the same deal with Ole Anderson when I went into NWA. Ole, and this, tell me, the whole time I'm there, you're too small to be in this business. You're too small to doing that. You're too small to doing this. And then we shoot an angle with him, and we sell out every building in the country. And then, then finally he changes his mind. You see what I'm saying? That the money part. And he told me that. Ole's made a lot of money in his business, but he told me, God, the run that he had with Robert and I, he said, I made more money than any angle I ever made in my life with anybody. But that was
right.
That was
I
cool.
liked Ole Anderson. I mean, he was a rough guy, or hard to bluff, but he understood what money was to the thing. Adrian Street, when I brought Street in,
Beg your
He
pardon?
said, I brought Adrian Street to Georgia.
Oh,
I it was still running WCW before Crockett still going. So he said, what is that gimmick?
oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, but see what people.
Grab hold of that gimmick, and he will show you what it is.
Hey, yes. Hey,
well, just go over and grab hold of him and tell him you don't like his gimmick. Well, he never did, and he ended up liking the gimmick because Street drew money too. And then when he discovered that Street was a shooter, he really liked it.
Oh yes, I know that. I seen that happen many a times.
Yeah.
I remember we was in Louisiana, and bless his heart, Tommy Rogers. We was wrestling some rodeo where he'd been raining, and he did something and that Adrian didn't like, and he said something to Adrian, and it was a work of art. You know, I never seen a guy had his head stuck up his butt so far after Adrian got through with him. I'm talking about Tommy Rogers had his own head stuck up his own butt.
Right, I got you.
I mean, Adrian, in a matter of seconds, just beat his ass. It was unbelievable, man. Well,
Yeah.
Bill Dundee,
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you, thank you so much for being on my show. I got to bring you back on, man, because we got to talk about a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah.
And it's
we haven't knocked anybody yet. There's nobody mad at us after this podcast. And
yes. Hey, when we hang up the phone, we'll be talking about everybody's ass. All right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's it. So, I might get you this first one. We just give them a little taste of what it is. But
yes.
the real stories, and there's the real stories on everybody's. But
oh, yes.
I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed being around you for the last 30, 40 years, whatever it was. And your dad before that, the whole ball, me and him used to run up and down the road together and have a lot of fun. So.
Yes, when my dad died, part of me died, Bill. He was my hero.
Yes. I understand that part.
Gosh, because when I was a kid, every day, we rode together. We went to places together, me and my dad. It was always there, Bill. And I want to tell you again, from the bottom of my heart, Bill, thank you, Bill Dundee.
You let me tell you this funny story where your dad, me and him, was coming back from Evansville. And he had that green LTD, and he headed to the floor. We'd chugging along 80, 85 miles an hour. Blue lights, oh, man. So he pulled over on the side of the road. Your dad was dressed like Casey Jones. You had a red bandana tied around his neck. You had that damn striped hat that he wears on. He had green overalls and a plaid shirt type thing on. So he gets out of the car and he says, "That's all right, that John Baldy talk." And the car looks at him. Paul Morton, Bill Dundee said, "Hey, Bill, was dressed like that. Don't need a ticket from me. Get back in the car and go on." He was funny. He looked like Casey Jones getting out of that car.
Oh, I know it. I remember one night, Bill, I was in Memphis with you talking like that. Somehow or another, you had Jeff Jarrett's big old Lincoln, and it was white and got the old trim on it. I know we 80 mile an hour down the road, police pull us over. He just walks up and looks, just turns around, walks back, get in his car, and takes off. It's wow.
Good old days.
Beg your pardon?
That was the good old days. They're cutting down all the crops and were, kind of good to
Well, I know it, but a lot of you can't get away with stuff like that no more.
No.
Bill Dundee, it was a great pleasure having you on my show, son, buddy.
All right, Morgan, you just let me know, and I'll be up there at the School of Morton and stretch some of them balls for you there.
No, I really want you to come up. I'll get in touch with you. And I really want you to come up because, they can learn a lot from you, a whole bunch. And thank you again. You be careful out there and take care of yourself, Bill. Brian?
All right, Brian Thompson, you take care too, okay?
Thank you, Superstar. Always a pleasure.
All right, and I don't care what Bob Eaton says about you. But anyway, Ricky Morton, I've loved you for the last 40 years, so if you need me, I'll be right here.
I love you too, Bill. Bye, buddy.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care, Bill.
See ya.
All right, okay.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey, Brian?
Ricky.
Brian, we got a lot of things happening up here. We're starting to run a lot of shows out of the School of Morton.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Oh, yeah, man. I want to
tell
all the folks out there, we, on March the 12th, we're going to be back here at the School of Morton, March Mania. A A lot of things. Mayhem, I mean. I can. Hey, I can't read. I can't even read my own writing. You understand that? I'm like Bobby. I wrote it in Swahili, but I never. But and I want to say too, on April the 18th at North Green High School, we're gonna have a fundraiser for the Lady Huskies, and I'm glad we're the School of Morton. We're here in Chuckey, Tennessee, but we're outskirts of Greenville. And we try to do a lot of things here for the community. Our school's doing real good, Brian. My boys are learning. Matter of fact, they're getting booked out because a lot of the promoters, when they see them, they understand that here we learn. I teach wrestling. We learned wrestling. It's not some of this bull crap that you see out there that just really that kills you towns. It really upsets us all. Brian, what's up with you now?
Oh, Ricky, staying busy, like you, trying to keep the road hot.
I got
Actually
you.
gonna promote a couple of my own shows coming up. Under my Ringside Championship Wrestling banner. March 18th, I've got Cherry Valley, Arkansas, going to raise a little money for a food pantry down there. Got Dangerous Doug Gilbert on the card, wrestling Eric Wayne, the old Gilberts and Waynes from that Memphis territory. They had a little history back in the day. So,
Sure did, man. That's
Doug is the last one of the Gilberts, and Eric is the last active wrestler of the Waynes. So they're gonna battle the main event, and that should be fun. And then I've got a show May the 6th here, where I live at now, Lebanon, Missouri. We're gonna be outside at a NASCAR affiliate racetrack, I-44 Speedway. We're going to bring in one of our guests from the on one of the early podcasts, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's going to come in and do an appearance. So,
well, that's great.
Pretty excited about them, yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
See, I'll either be rocking and rolling or out of business. So.
Well, I got you. But I want to thank you for everything. Thank you for being a part of the School of Morton, and I want to thank Bill Superstar Dundee for being on here today. And Brian, you take care of yourself, and we'll see you next month or talk to you.
Ricky, always a pleasure. Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.